Stalker number 2. In the time that it took me to walk from my gate to my mailbox, Stalker number 2. And you mean to tell me that the sheriff doesn't know about these criminals harassing me? Well, if the sheriff is unaware, then he needs to be aware. These criminals on patrol harassing regular people should be on his list of people to watch. He should be surveilling the people that are harassing me, particularly since I've been reporting these crimes, and particularly since he's well aware of the neighbor harassment, since he's well aware, since before he was a sheriff, that these crimes were taking place. So I don't buy that the sheriff doesn't know what's going on. He might not know all the details about what's going on, but he could. He could know the details. But the issue here is also this. This sheriff was a deputy. He lived here a long time. And he had a baby with the daughter of one of these stalkers' parents. So, for instance, I have 2 sets of stalker neighbors down the block. One couple is widely known on YouTube and TikTok as the ski mask man and the big mouth. Okay, so the ski mask and the big mouth, they were on Neighborhood Wars on A&E, April 11, 2023. And I posted a couple of links to the videos that I took, one of which was altered by some perpetrator that shortened the video, because I started taking the video when I exited the front door of my house. And all of the footage from the time I exited my house to the time I got to the county road was deleted. And what that footage would have shown was the 15-year-old son who witnessed the vandalism, and then his father, who was near him talking across the county road, who was being threatened by my neighbor with a loaded weapon. So the sheriff was a deputy at the time that took place, and nobody was arrested. Neither of those people were ever arrested. I tried to get a restraining order against them, and the county lawyer wouldn't even sign the papers. In fact, my witness was threatened to not sign the witness statement, which he did do. But they never submitted the witness statement. I did. I submitted the witness statement in a court of law. And I was still denied restraining order, which is called an order of protection, which would have meant that they cannot be around my property with a certain distance, that they cannot stalk me, harass me, trespass my property, all of those things that you would expect in a normal environment, to not be harassed by people trespassing your property. So my phone call today, I called the sheriff's department. I almost wasn't going to, but I said, this is a little too far. And after I contacted the sheriff's department about that vandalism, I also mentioned the thefts, the camera interference, and the water barrel being dumped 4 times. I was so upset that I forgot to mention the vandalism of the tree, but there's so many things. I made it very clear to him on the phone that I document everything and videotape it and post it online. I also stated that I don't expect him or an officer to come out here and document or photograph anything, but I will. And I specifically told him on the phone that as I was speaking to him, I was photographing what it was that I was describing to him on the phone. That video will be posted later because I obviously need to edit out my address and phone number, which is, required when you file an incident report, to dispatch. And I want to say that generally the people that answer the phone at dispatch are very nice. They don't know what's going on. They just take phone call after phone call, people calling in, all kinds of things. I could only imagine the people that call in and document information and all the kinds of crimes that take place, the drug abuse and stuff like that. So the people who answer the phone at dispatch are generally very pleasant and, take down the information, write the information. They have no control over it. Then they pass it on to, I guess, whatever officer is on call at that time. So that's when my video cut out. One, I was using two phones, one to videotape better photos and one to actually call the sheriff's department. I had a low battery light on my phone. That was a problem. And then on the good the good telephone that belonged to my mother, it doesn't have a lot of phone storage. So what happens is that video cut out at 6 minutes, around 6 minutes. That video was posted online and you could hear it. It just cuts out around 6 minutes. That was not any exterior person. That was just my phone telling me I was out of memory, and it stopped at that point. But I want to say that when the officer called me back, I don't like to be gaslit. I'm generally very pleasant to police. I have no reason to not be pleasant to them. If they're going to give me a hard time, then I'm going to stand my ground. So when this officer started to gaslight me, and you didn't hear the first part of the phone conversation, when he started to gaslight me about, well, if you talk badly about my sheriff, I work for him, then I can't take your report. Well, that is a total bullshit. Okay, it doesn't matter if I speak negatively or not negatively, and I wasn't speaking negatively about him. Basically, what I said was that the sheriff is well aware of things that are happening here. He probably doesn't know all the details, but he was a deputy before he was a sheriff. And I have filed multiple reports that he has been copied on. Here comes number 3. Third stalker. So I'm taking out my trash here, guys, so excuse me. So when I mentioned that I copied him, the sheriff, on letters about my neighbors that he's clearly aware of, he's clearly aware that my neighbors have trespassed and vandalized my property. He's clearly aware of that. What this officer says is, are you saying that your neighbors poured water under your containers? And I said, no, that's not what I said. I said, I don't know who did it, but I want you to know the history that I have several neighbors that have been harassing me since I moved here. So this is the way they gaslight you and twist your words. Nobody's going to twist my words. And then he said something about, well, and this is what wasn't recorded because my phone went out, and then I had to pick up another phone and start recording again. He said, are you saying that the sheriff was paid to do this to you or hired people to do this to you? I said, absolutely not. I said, no one is paying the sheriff to hire people to vandalize my property. I said, but I don't know who's doing it. I'm only required to report the crimes, not investigate them. It's your job to investigate the crimes. But nobody has performed an investigation here. Not in all the years that I filed a report. When I've had animals stolen out of locked buildings, camera footage interfered with, vandalism, thefts of property. My mother's diamond wedding ring was stolen. Okay, so the list is literally endless, and we're not talking about small change items. It was last year. Somebody stole brand new noise-canceling headphones. The kinds that are good if you have V2K or tinnitus. I have very severe tinnitus. But also if you're shooting a firearm. Oh, I'm just noticing some more vandalism here. Some more cuts. The shadows pick it up really well. More cuts over here. I don't know, can you see it? You can't see this. I'll have to get a better photo tomorrow. They're really damaging my landscaping. Yeah, I don't have a good enough... I can see the shadows here where they're picking out the soil all around my property. They want to cause it to fall and look like an eyesore. But let's get back to this, the Sheriff's Department phone call. I don't expect them anymore to investigate the crimes here. Why? Because they know it's happening. They might not know every little detail about what's happening, but they know what's happening and they're told to ignore it. Otherwise, my neighbors would have been arrested. In addition to the fact that this sheriff, who was the deputy, as I started to mention, has a baby with a daughter of 2 stalkers. The parents of which, one, the female, the one who told me that walking around with a flashlight is illegal. She called it a spotlight. She called my flashlight a spotlight and said it's illegal, that she was going to call her friends at the Sheriff's Department to look into my spotlight. And I posted this on my channel. You can just look that up. I think it says something about spotlight. I'd have to go back to my laptop and check the name of it. It was over the summertime. And the reason I posted that information was because I was in my field. And this perpetrator neighbor pulls up, gets out of her vehicle, and wants to have a fight with me. Literally, like a fist fight with me. I'm here like sweaty. I'm sweating to death. I'm cleaning my property. And she wants to have a fight with me. And then she says it's the same skit as the other neighbor next door. Oh, well, this is the county road. Like, oh, it's okay for you to stalk me because you're on the county road. It's okay that if you harass me because you're on the county road, but I'm on my property, cleaning my property, taking care of my property, and you think it's okay to drive by just because you're on the county road and harass me? That makes it okay? So, yeah, so that happened over the summertime. And this woman and her husband, the logger, the master logger, who also works at the energy company or something, have a daughter. And their daughter is in a relationship with the sheriff, the new sheriff. Here comes number 4. Comes number 4. It's a white van. Number 4. In this very short video, this is a 13-minute long video. And in 13 minutes, we've had 4 stalkers. Isn't that nice? So anyway, yes, so the sheriff has a conflict of interest because he has a baby with a daughter of 2 criminals, 2 perpetrators. So you mean to tell me that he does not know, that he's not aware that these 2 people have harassed me? That the male, I'll just call him the male, confronted a worker on my property and had him damage my property? Or that the female harasses me about using a flashlight on my property? She calls it a spotlight. And then wants to duke it out with me on the county road. I'm thinking, what the hell? I mean, I grew up without any of this stuff as a young girl, as a teenager, in my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s, my 50s. Then what happens is, in my 60s, I get targeted by friggin' cops. and lunatics in rural Kentucky. I mean, it's totally nuts. And my birds are freaking out. And I don't know why. Let's see. Sometimes they're freaking out because they sense an animal around the property. Sometimes they're freaking out because the criminals have sent radio frequencies to the roof. Sometimes they're freaking out because one of them fell. Here comes I call him Squeak, the cat that was dumped here. Squeak, do you want to say hello? Say hi. Do you want to go in the house? Huh? I fed you guys. I fed you. But anyway, I'm going to get going here. I have a testimony that I was supposed to record yesterday, and these criminals like to steal my time. Please leave a comment down below if the criminals like to steal your time by tying it up because of these ridiculous, I can't even call them pranks anymore. I'm so disgusted. I mean, anybody who views the photos of the damage underneath those boxes can see that it was deliberate. So, and thank you, subscriber, for mentioning to put a fan in there, a hand fan or whatever, and like let it dry up and stuff. It gets very humid here in Kentucky, and I'm not in that building, you know. And for me to leave it open is a problem because I've got animals here. I'll have birds going in there, you know, thinking, oh, look at this new coop, or the cats going in there and getting lost in there. So it becomes complicated that way. But I can put a fan in there, dry it up, and possibly, you know, put a gate in the front of the door so that nobody goes in there. But thank you for the suggestions. I'm totally over this program, this vandalism and stuff. I want to expose this everywhere. I want to expose this everywhere because this is absolutely, this goes beyond civil rights. This goes beyond amendments and whatever. These are hate crimes. They are committing felonies against us every day of the week. Trespassing is illegal. Illegal entry, break-ins, illegal. Poisoning, illegal. Theft, illegal. Theft of animals, illegal. Animal cruelty, illegal. I'm not even going to go into the physical torture because it's very difficult to prove. But I guarantee if every targeted person out there had the financial means for a full body scan, for a brain scan, full blood workup, a rouleau test, that we would have undeniable evidence of physical torture. I already have undeniable evidence of property vandalism. Undeniable evidence that my neighbors are involved. I have it on camera, it's on video, it's on film. It's not even funny. You know, I use humor sometimes to mitigate what's happening here, which is off the friggin' charts. And I apologize to everybody out there for dumping this on my channel. But I also hope that in my leaving these messages that you see or hear something that resonates with you. And that also gives you a voice. That if this is happening to you, leave a comment down below. There are a lot of people out there that are scared to come out and speak out. They're scared. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening to them. I was like that in the beginning, too. I had no idea what was going on. I just figured out it was those crazy cat women in Manalapan, New Jersey. And it was, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. I have evidence of that beyond a reasonable doubt. Absolutely. But it goes beyond the feral cat cartel in New Jersey and the national feral cat cartel. It goes beyond those groups. It involves lawyers. It involves sheriffs, police officers, military, infraguard. And just because you piss somebody off, that's the proverbial language. Oh, you must have pissed off somebody with money. Oh, you must have pissed off somebody in a position of authority. Oh, you just pissed off the wrong person. Well, you know what? I'm an adult. I can't imagine how many people have pissed me off in my lifetime. Am I going to turn around and call the FBI and place somebody on a list to be tortured for the rest of their lives? How sick is that? I want to move on because I know that the universe has a plan for these effers. The universe, I mean, whatever you want to call it, divine intervention, God, Jesus, however you want to refer to it, there is a divine order. And these Luciferian Satanists, they think that they can manipulate that to their advantage. But what they are doing is they are calling on the wrong person. They're calling on the devil. They're calling on evil. There is no place for those creatures, those entities, those demons in this world. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I'm in the dark here. I'm out here in the dark. I wanted go get hold of Squeak and see if he wants to go inside. There is no wind today. However, guess what was at my gate when I walked there? Aside from the 4 criminal trespasser stalkers that drove by. Oh, they broke off some branches and laid them right across where my gate was. Exactly. Horizontal to the gate. And then one through the gate. These people are evil, joyless. And you know what I should have said to the police officer? You know, they always ask, well, who do you think it is? Like, stupid asshole. If I knew who it was, don't you think I would tell you? Isn't it your job to perform an investigation? I'm giving you all the evidence under the sun. I can give you dates and times and photos and videos. I can even tell you that somebody was in the building because I heard noises in the building on a camera. I can even tell you that my camera picked up the image of a person out in my field. And then when I called them last year, was it last year? No, it's the beginning of this year. No, it was last year. When the criminal up the block, I can't say the name of the street because it gave my location away. The criminal in the gray pickup truck drove onto my property, performed a huge U-turn, digging up ruts in my property. And I called the police officer back and I told him, I gave him the location. I said, go get him. Never heard from the officer again. And that officer is the one that I FOIA requested the information and received a blank piece of paper. Blank. So I don't expect to get an accurate incident report this time around either. But that's okay, because I document and photograph everything. I post my evidence online. I know they're watching. So anyway, do you hear my birdies? I think that they're chattering also because they hear my voice out here. So I'm going to sign off for now. I hope everybody is doing well. And I'm going to go in and get a cup of coffee, get something to eat and drink. And on this Sunday, it's overcast. I see some stars, but that's about it. I'm going to sign off for now.